If you could talk to somebody, like the women that are watching the show, like what would you tell them if they are considering writing a book or launching a book? What would you say to them right now?
Well, so often women think, why me? Why me? What about my story is special? Why should I bother sharing about myself? And I just keep saying the same thing over and over. And it's that you are unique and special, and your experience is so important because you're changing the world in your way. One thing that I will always say is that whatever kind of book you write, especially if it's a business related book with the goal in mind of using it as a tangible asset to grow your bank account, expertise, your authority, your visibility, all that fun stuff that we love to talk about. If that's the goal in mind, then you still need to share about yourself because that's what makes you human.
Hey everyone, it's Tamara Thompson with Women Unlocking Wealth, and I'm here with my co-host Danielle.
Hey everybody.
And our next guest, Melanie Herschorn with Big Impact Books, is here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, you've got quite the accolades, award-winning. You could probably dive into more about what you're doing over at Big Impact Books, but you did journalism too, right?
Yes.
Is that a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, it's part of my background. I have a master's in journalism, and then I also designed and manufactured breastfeeding clothing. That was
That's a little bit different.
It was a little bit different. So what happened was I got laid off from the radio station that I was a news anchor and reporter for, and so I went, great, now I'm unemployable. I was 5 months pregnant at the time. And
you had a lot going on.
I had a lot going on. And so that was back in Pennsylvania. Then we moved to Arizona, where we are now. And I had this idea. And I thought, well, I have nothing to wear and I really want cool clothes. So I designed them myself and sold the clothes on Nordstrom, on Amazon. And then I made a really bad hire.
It's learning lessons.
Oh my gosh. So, oh boy, did I learn that lesson. So she belittled me every single day. Aww. She would say, how do you have a master's degree? You are so boring when you write.
What?
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
So I closed the business and then I started again and I thought, what can I do? Who can I help? And it was always marketing was something that I'd always done in one fashion or another, and just helping people elevate their voices. So authors started calling me and saying, hey, can you help with marketing? And I was like, well, yeah, that's not rocket science. I could totally help. And so what I ended up doing was helping authors market books. And then I started seeing that there were some books that could have been a little better. We'll say that. And they also had the same title too, which is kind of weird.
At least you wanted to help people.
I know, right? So
it's a bigger purpose.
Right, exactly. And then around that time also, I had a family member going through a really nasty divorce, and the results of which I thought would be obviously he's going to pay her lots of money. And it ended up being the opposite.
Wow.
And I was like, well, Law and Order and The Young and the Restless have been lying to me. And I need to, I what else do I not know? And so I started doing some market research and talking to attorneys and realizing, wait a minute, there is this huge knowledge gap that television is lying to us about. I can help bridge that gap.
That's why you created this. Law and Order totally came into the piece there with the attorneys.
Exactly.
That's so funny. I was literally like, that's how she started to piece things together. Yeah. I was going to ask you how you actually formulated the demographic that you wanted to work with. Yeah.
So, and also, I'm
sure there's more to it. But
no. It is really not as deep as I would love for it to be. And I chickened out of taking the LSAT when I was younger, and I did take the GRE, but it's not the same. And so I've always found the law fascinating. When I was doing my master's degree, I took media law class, and I was like, wow, this is so fascinating. And when I talk to lawyers, I'm like, this is my people. I'm around the right people. I go to attorney events and I'm just sitting there listening.
You feel connected.
With a smile on my face.
It's like a soul connection.
Yeah, it is. And people are like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just happy to be here.
I love that. So that's primarily who you work with. Yeah. You've built a company now. How long have you had Big Impact Books
So
going?
this iteration of my entrepreneurship has been around for about 6 years.
Okay.
And
okay,
so
great.
we started out in the marketing and then moved right into the
publishing piece.
writing and the publishing and the marketing.
So you have that kind of like that one-stop shop.
Yes.
So people coming in like in that space would be like, hey, you're the go-to person for that whole like write it, done for you, launch it, best-selling author type of sequence, right?
Absolutely, because these people don't have time.
Of course.
And, and they're like, oh, I want to write a book, but I can't even find time to go to the bathroom. So it's like, how could I expect them to write a book? So what I do is this sort of speak the book to me system. So in about an hour a week, I ask them a lot of questions and I pull a book out of their head and onto paper.
How long, so how many weeks do you go through that recording?
So just, pulling the book out of them takes about 14 to 16 meetings. And then once that's finished, then, I get to build a manuscript and then we edit it and we proofread it and
title,
all the things. And then we publish it under their imprint. So, for anybody who is not adept at all the publishing stuff, there's a lot of predatory behavior in the publishing industry. And so I have been called the pioneer of integrity when it comes to publishing because I will tell it like it is. What I do is it's basically independent publishing. It's under your imprint. So you retain all the IP. You retain all the royalties, which are not a lot. You can go to Starbucks every time you buy a book. Maybe. I think Starbucks raised their prices and Amazon lowered theirs. So maybe not. But what you have then is a tangible asset that is published under your brand. And so I would never say to somebody who wants to publish traditionally, oh, don't do that, because that's a dream. And I don't ever want to step on dreams. But if the dream is to be published and you don't want to have to wait and jump through hoops, then this is the way to do it.
And this is a very smart marketing way to launch yourself, especially if you're going towards like the personal brand side of it. Because a lot of people that we even work with our agency front is they are looking to launch a book. They want to speak on more stages. They want to get on more podcasts. Like, what is that next step for them, right? And so what you're doing is helping them gather that material a lot faster and getting that piece out there, because one, you can leverage a book to come out and get all these other opportunities too, but then you can add every other element to that as well. Courses, keynotes, whatever that looks like on that side. But I think it's really important to what you're doing in the space. And I love the word big impact, because that's exactly what you're doing with your clients.
Thank you.
So for the types of attorneys you work with, like, I'm not going to just assume all of them are trademark attorneys. Is there a process? The reason why I bring that up is because how important is it to have a title of a book that's trademarked?
Well, the book itself can be copywritten.
Okay.
So I think that qualifies, but I'm not an attorney.
Yeah,
as you know,
exactly.
I didn't take the LSAT, so I would not.
She just works with them.
I just work with them. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, once you can have the same title of different books. That's like one book I published a book it was a series, it was called Mission Possible. Turns out Tim Tebow also published a book called Mission Possible. Yeah. And that's okay. Because
I was curious about that, because we also work with individuals that come back to us when they're launching their shows. We'll do the market research. Does this podcast also have that name out there? Because we actually just launched a show this last week that's called the Delusional Podcast, but it also has a tagline that's appearing like, big dreams, real stories, right? So like, what is like the full essence of that too? Because we also looked up and said, hey, to the client, there's also another delusional podcast out here, but it's not current, right? So there's different things to look out for that too. So I was very curious about that statement. Like, I've seen books the same thing.
Just because books they live on for such a long time. Yeah. So it's like, has there ever been times where people come back and they're like, I need to change this title. I need to change it fast.
Yeah, there are times that
and you're flexible. You just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it goes into naming your book, I mean, okay, so
not after it's been published.
I feel like I would overthink it.
You could do a second edition.
Okay,
though.
There you go.
But I have this problem naming things. It's so permanent.
Naming conventions?
It's so permanent, right? Like when I was a kid, I couldn't name my stuffed animals because that was too permanent. You'll never see me have a tattoo. I was able to
don't
name
have
my
any
children. Oh, you don't either? Yeah. Do you have any tattoos?
I have one.
Okay.
It's
but
a dove.
Oh, that's nice.
It's cute.
Yeah,
It's hidden.
it's cute. It's hidden. Nobody sees it. We're good.
So you want to be sure about
just
the
blocked
tattoo.
me. She blocked me
after
from the
this.
friends list because I have a tattoo. No, I'm just kidding.
And you're not an attorney, so
No.
let's go.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I mean, like I have another name I go by. It's Shakira when I feel like being extroverted.
Yes.
So if you want to start calling me Shakira, that's
I can totally
completely
do
fine.
that. You look like her.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, now
I
need a
interviewed her
nickname.
once. You look like her.
I've gotten two people say I have angles of me that look like Meghan Markle, and I was like, I freaking wish. That girl is gorgeous.
I see that.
So
You're gorgeous.
I do see that
I
resemblance.
wish.
She's gorgeous.
Anyway, off topic. Back to the book
No, look, I
publishing.
would love to talk more about how beautiful you are.
Oh no. I'm the introvert. I don't like talking about myself either.
What-
I'm an introvert too.
Oh, good.
But
and
I'm
you're
also
out
vain.
here.
But I'm
This
vain.
is for Women
so.
Unlocking Wealth podcast.
Yes.
So it's like with you being an introvert, you're also the CEO. Like, what are some things that you feel like you need to bring to the table as a woman to like run your business successfully?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I have done so much networking with other women, and I find that when I walk into a room, it doesn't suck my energy out as much as when I go into a co-ed space. So I really have to psych myself up a lot. In fact, earlier this week, I was being interviewed in front of 90 attorneys on a Zoom call.
Wow.
And so from the waist up, you know, I've got a blazer and a whatever, and
You
on
were
the
in yoga pants.
worse. Shorts, sweatpants. I'm
my
wearing
gosh.
big baggy sweatpants in 118 degree weather.
Is the
and
Cavalier down there too?
of course, there's
Of
always
course.
a Cavalier by my feet. So I was sitting there and looking at the Zoom call, and I'm thinking, okay, I gotta do this. Suck in, superhero. You can do this. And I just like sort of put on a hat of confidence.
I love it.
I think that's what I think. There's a lot of women out there, you know, in business, like think very similarly to things, you know. And in this show, like we want to encourage women to step up more into that confidence and like, you know, become their own success, right? And I think you're definitely not alone on that side. I'm sure plenty of people listening, watching the show can relate to that at some point in their life. But it's like once you do it, you're like, oh, I just did that. I can do it again, right?
Yeah, and
now you're going to step in front of a 900 person audience, but then it's in front of a real stage, right? Like
Yes.
it's like you start doing these things and it starts to go along the lines. You're like, oh, that I did that. I feel comfortable. Do the next one. Kind of step on that side of it. Has there been like a point where you're like, there was an experience that you had that you're like, oh, had a similar thing, but maybe in person with people, and then you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yes, absolutely. But I still get really sweaty each time.
It's okay. You can change clothes. There's deodorant.
You get like
Yeah.
that too. You'll have like a stain under your arm. And
Thanks for pointing that out.
well, here's the thing. Okay, so I'm usually behind the scenes, and she's forced me to do Women Unlocking Wealth podcast and Broadcast Your Authority podcast. And so I'm now more front facing, which I've gotten more comfortable with. But when I first started, I started imperfectly. Like I had spit coming out of my mouth, like
At least you weren't sweating.
super thin hair, like
Sweat coming out of her mouth. That's what it was.
I think there was like podcasts with no makeup, and I looked back at it and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I remember that one because
Yeah.
I was in the same boat and I was like, we can't edit this video
Yeah.
like this. It's not like a Photoshop on a photo.
But the thing is like we
Filters.
have to still put ourselves out there and do it anyway. Like, and there's a story with this successful YouTuber named Adley that she didn't like the way she looked in one of the videos, and she took it from the videographer and she deleted it. And the videographer came back and was like, hey, what happened to this video we shot together? And she's like, oh, I didn't like the way I look. So he pulled it out of archives, told her to post it. That video got hundreds of millions of views. And that's the thing is like, we're like, as women, like we're so sensitive to what not all women, I don't want to speak for all women, but some women are so sensitive to what we look like, what, you know,
Or
on
what we
camera,
put out
how
on
we come
camera,
across.
but
And it's like sometimes we just have to do it imperfectly, and we learn from that, and we keep learning, and we keep building, and we keep doing things that maybe I do my hair better next time, and I'll put myself out there like that. But yeah, I mean,
there's
you've
people out there.
been always like super confident. Like her mom instilled confidence in her. I have always been self-conscious. Like I have self-confidence.
have to get out
What
there
is the word for that? Like confidence, self-esteem issues. Okay. And so growing up, like my mom didn't wear makeup. She never taught me how to wear makeup or anything. She still doesn't wear makeup. The only time I see her wearing makeup is at a funeral. So I'm like, who died? Like somebody died. And so I feel like me actually stepping more in my feminine side has given me more confidence to put myself out there. But then I realized that maybe the people that I'm connecting with aren't so scary. And like every time I'm like connecting more with people in person, I'm feeling like our souls were spiritually meant to connect together. So it's been really impactful to meet with other CEOs. Are you about to cry? Other CEOs and business owners. And so, yeah.
It must be the lighting.
Must be the lighting.
It was so touching.
So like every time we do these podcasts, we just enjoy it so much because we're connecting with people that are passionate about business.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I've always been obsessed with fashion, love fashion, but my mom wouldn't know what Chanel was if she tripped over it. And so it doesn't always have to come from your mom.
Exactly.
It can come from you, from within.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good point.
I was always awkward growing up and like shy in some ways. And then I won't go into my deep story right now, but because of certain things I went through in my 20s, I became extremely confident in different areas. And so after that, I was just, the experiences that we go through in life can change and alter. So just like she was saying, like I pulled her out of her comfort zone to get on these shows and start talking to more people too about their passion as well. And I think that's just one commonality that a lot of women here have, and especially in the business realm, basically. So if you could talk to somebody like the women that are watching the show, like what would you tell them if they are considering, writing a book or launching a book, or they're contemplating on that side? Like, what would you say to them right now?
Well, so often women think, why me?
I always say, why not?
Well, I hear from men too. I'm being honest, of course. But it's, why me? What about my story is special? Why should I bother sharing about myself? And I just keep saying the same thing over and over. And it's that you are unique and special, and your experience is so important because you're changing the world in your way. And, I had to learn that for myself, because when I got into the entrepreneur space and I would hear these stories of people rising from fiery crashes, and I was like, but I don't have that story. Right. I can't. I remember there was this one woman, it was an incredible story of she was a burn victim when she was younger, and she built an entire business around. I was like, that's amazing. And I don't want that, I don't have that. And so I thought, well, what does that mean for me? Does that mean I just get to fade into the background? And I realized, well, maybe not. Maybe my experience, maybe my stories matter. And then I put on my big girl pants and I wrote a book, and I published that about 2 years ago. And it built my confidence too. And I actually, when I sent the book to somebody that I had used to work with, he's a reporter, and he wrote a really nice advanced review for me. He told me, I read it and I didn't realize that had been your experience at the radio station when I was working right alongside you. He's like, wow, that was really
eye-opening.
Something. Yeah. And so I thought, well, if he didn't know, well, then maybe this is good. Maybe it's good that I share my story. And so one thing that I will always say is that whatever kind of book you write, especially if it's a business related book with the goal in mind of using it as a tangible asset to grow your bank account, expertise, your authority, your visibility, all that fun stuff that we love to talk about. If that's the goal in mind, then you still need to share about yourself, because that's what makes you human. I mean, especially now, I happen to be overhearing another interview that you guys did. And
whoa, at least you're watching it.
AI came up, and
it does come up frequently.
It does come up, yeah. And I want to be the first person to say I love AI. However, I do not believe that AI should be writing books. First of all, neither does Ingram Spark, which is one of the platforms you publish on. But also,
what about movie scripts?
No.
He's not throwing in there.
She did that the other week, actually.
I did, but it was very detailed.
Because it takes away the genius that is
but the
your
genius
brain.
Is the description and the storyline and everything else that you're putting in. I understand that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I wrote an entire Lifetime movie script.
It's because you set prompts. So she's actually pulling it out.
Well, I'm very detailed. But yes, I understand that point.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you should use ChatGPT to write an entire book.
Well,
you have to use
but
so
people
many
do.
different prompts, and
there's probably copywriting issues. Like it's
Well, you
pulling from the
can't copyright
internet.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you cannot copyright a book.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what the problem is with AI.
You can use it as an editing tool. That's okay as long as it's initially your information.
Yes.
But all that to say, you know, I don't think that AI is going to be able to replace your expertise, your unique experience, the thing that makes
even
you
understanding your story. Like, I mean, you can try to prompt it to put in like specific verbiage. It's my tone, my brand voice, right? But I mean, there's the essence of like what you do is so impactful. Like being able to listen and interview these people and take those words and like formulate it into their story.
Well, and also from like a PR perspective, like you're probably paying attention to everything they're saying. And you're like, we need to lean more heavy on this segment. Like maybe the cancer story is not the story that you want to lean into for like 15 chapters. Like maybe it's like you want to focus on like a certain elements happening. And so it's just really important to like have somebody that's visually paying attention to that.
And finding the right story. Like you said, like you don't have to be a burn victim. You don't have to have a crazy story like myself that am going into 15 years sober. I was in and out of jail. I was on house arrest. I was Lindsay Lohan. That's a whole nother podcast.
Good
right?
Lord.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. But that's my deep story. So, but I don't position that story as my main story. It's just a start to it of where I started, and I shifted my life to then build success and authority and impact more people and help more people. And so it's like, you can have these little stories, but we tell our clients all the time, they say, Tamara, I don't have a story like yours. But I was like, but you have a story. Why do you do what you do? Why are you the expert in what you do? Why do you want to start this podcast, right? Why do you want to launch this book? And then they're like, oh, well, I did this because of this. There's your story. You don't have to have this super deep, like, you know, story. Like a lot of people, not everyone has that deep story, but you have a story.
Right.
And so, and then you're the expert on that
and
side.
then like the goals of the book. Like if the goal is like example to get more lead gen to the business or to the work that they're doing, you're not going to lean probably on certain elements of what they're telling, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, not everybody should have a book.
Yeah.
I know that that's not a popular opinion necessarily.
What about our Cavaliers?
Yes.
Maybe
All
our dogs
Cavaliers should
books.
have a book.
Yeah, all of them.
And then
At
they
least the
grow
picture
up.
book.
I was going to say they can grow opposable thumbs and turn the pages.
Yes.
There you go.
But you know, there was a gentleman I spoke to 3 times because he was adamant that this was going to be a book. And he says to me, so I interviewed, I think it was 100 people over 22 years. And I said,
That's pretty slow.
okay. And what are these interviews about? And he was like, well, I'll show it to you. So he pulls it up on Zoom and I'm reading these interviews and it's like, what do you do for a living?
Interview people for 22
How many
years.
dogs do you have? No.
Probably none.
Right. And I kept saying, so I'm reading this, I'm going, so who's going to read this book? And he was like, well, I don't know. Somebody told me it should be a book. And I said, okay, but I just don't think it's a book.
It's a documentary.
It's like a term paper of a 3rd grader. I just couldn't.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
Well, I was a little bit nicer than that, but I was just like, I don't think this is a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have that.
If I raise my voice a little bit high like that, then it doesn't hurt as much when I'm saying your book idea sucks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you like help them shift the perspective of their book? Like,
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
there's still ways to market it and, you know,
Oh yeah,
obviously,
absolutely. Like I had a client come to me. He'd already published the book, and it was like a pandemic memoir. And this was 2021, and I said nobody wants to read a pandemic memoir. We don't ever want to mention
what,
what
in 2025?
We watched all the
this
movies.
was in 2021 or 22.
Oh, okay.
And
During
so
after.
I read it, and I said, you know what? Let's reposition the marketing. Let's call this a story of a father understanding what it's like to and discovering that his son is neurodivergent.
That's a big keyword.
That's a huge
by the way.
keyword right
on
now.
YouTube.
Oh,
Neurodivergent.
and TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, but this
Huge.
was 4 years ago, so
Okay,
I'm really
anyway.
ahead of the trend.
You were ahead of TikTok.
You're way ahead of it.
Way ahead.
There you go.
So, but he was pitching the book
So the book went viral
to
recently.
well, I don't know about that, but maybe it did. Yeah. So he was pitching the book to a local bookstore, which, well, it was pretty big in his town. And so he got in because of the shift that we made.
There you go.
So your question, which was a great one, is the first thing I do is say, what is your goal? What is your goal with this book?
Exactly.
Because if it's just to like have something that makes you sound great, then that's awesome. Or if it's like a memoir about your cat, that's great, but I may not be the person to help you. I also have a cat, by the way.
We do too.
Okay.
He's staying with grandma right now. Yeah. But well, that's good though. I mean, you've found your niche of who you're working with, on the attorney front on that side. You're very direct with that. So that's good that you've been able to help those types of people. You also are launching a new book yourself. Could you share with our audience a little bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So this is my book number 2, which by the way, when you write book number 1, book number 2 is a lot faster, kind of like a child. When you have child number 1, child number 2 is a little bit easier.
Same with the dogs.
The dog, I only have one dog. I'd be afraid to get a second, but I understand. 3. Well, yes, exactly. So it's called Lasting Legal Impact, and it is explaining to attorneys all about writing a book and the benefits of publishing and how to promote it. And then the final chapter is really about sitting down and outlining your own book. So I'm really excited about it.
Oh.
Sounds exciting.
Well, we appreciate you for coming in today. Could you share also with the audience a little bit more how they can connect with you? We're going to, of course, promote the book coming out. Super excited for you on that side on book number 2. But we'd love for you to share where people can reach you.
Oh, sure. Okay. So if you want to just hop on my calendar because you want to chat, I would love that. And it's just at meetmelanie.vip. And then the name of my company is Big Impact Books. And our website is yourbigimpactbook.com.
Oh, I love the name of that. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you for stopping by today.
Oh,
so thank you so
much. Thank you.
It was a lot
so
of
great
fun.
to meet you. And I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Shakira.
Shakira's in the house.
Shakira.
High five. That was really good.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And those that are watching, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, and we'll see you in the next episode.